Good afternoon. Bonjour à tous. The decision by Prime Minister Stephen Harper to suspend the House of Commons means that his ministers are no longer answerable to the elected representatives of Parliament and, by extension, no longer accountable to the people of Canada. This morning in Guadalajara, Mexico, for example, Canadian officials are beginning the next round of negotiations in the Anti-Counterfeiting Treaty Agreement. These ACTA treaty talks are taking place under a heavy veil of secrecy. Now, ACTA has the potential to criminalize the behavior of thousands of average Canadians, impede research and digital innovation, and lock down the future development of the internet. And given the refusal of government ministers to show up in the House of Commons, I have written the Minister for International Trade, Peter Van Loan, to answer some fundamental questions about this treaty. First and foremost, why the secrecy? Minister, if this process were in the best interest of the Canadian public, your officials wouldn't be sneaking around Mexico like a conspiratorial cabal for the U.S. corporate lobby. If you had nothing to hide, then you would release the details of the treaty that's being negotiated. What instructions have you given your negotiators regarding the search and seizure of iPods and laptops at international border crossings for potential non-commercial infringement of copyright? What steps will you take to protect Canadians from any attempts to use this treaty to deny citizens access to internet accounts based on the ludicrous 3 strikes and you're out model? Minister, you have no mandate to impose this kind of regressive policy on Canadian citizens without clear input from the public and parliamentarians. Your government has already botched badly one attempted copy reform. Minister, Bill C-61 failed because your government refused to allow public input from creators, innovators, and citizens. Now, since then, both the Ministers of Heritage and Industry made firm commitments to engage the public before any revision of Canada's copyright laws. But ACTA not only undermines this public commitment, it will impose the most regressive elements of the American DMCA legislation on the Canadian public. It is a hollow claim to suggest that ACTA will somehow be subservient to Parliament when the commitments for ACTA are being hammered out now in lieu of any new legislation on copyright. Minister, backroom deals are no way to promote the development of digital policy in this country. Your decision to shut down Parliament does not remove the obligation from you or your government to come clean with the Canadian public about ACTA. It's time to release the documents. It's time to open this process up to public input.